most interesting new deck ideas to come out of this year's tournament scene is the reinvention of Nurgle as a wall deck. He's got superior Auspex and Demoinian, which means he can generate a lot of intercept when he needs it. Now, of course, after Sword of Cain, with his superior fortitude, he can also play Forced Vigilance, which allows him to either remain untapped after blocking an action, or he can untap as a reaction, which is great for any block deck. The key combo in this deck comes from Undying Thirst and Bloodstorm of Chorazin, both of which are reactions only playable by Barley. Once you block another vampire, you can put an Undying Thirst on them. It stays on them for the rest of the game, prevents them from taking any actions other than Diablerie, as long as there is at least one vampire in torpor. That could be one of your vampires, one of their vampires, any vampire. Bloodstorm of Chorazin adds insult to injury. Once you've played Undying Thirst, you can play this on a younger vampire, which means there won't be a combat and they're going to take a damage. Best way to get vampires into torpor is to use Rupturek. You can use permanent tech like the Sengir Dagger or the Ivory Bow, or of course you can use Conflagration, which is a Demonian combat card. Nurgle plays it for free. Once you've got those vampires into torpor, it means that anybody with Undying Thirst can't take any action other than Diablerie. Of course, if they take that action, you're going to be there waiting to block them. Eagle Sight, best way to intercept across table. You don't necessarily want to hurt the vampires who are taking the compulsory Diablerie. You just don't want them to actually succeed, because as long as those vampires are in torpor, they can't take any actions. They can't bleed you, they can't vote, they can't do anything offensive to you at all. It's a great combo to put down against your predator. One of the best defences against Diablerie when Nurgle can't necessarily block is to recruit Carlton Van Wyck as early as possible. You can burn him during a discard phase to burn a vampire who successfully Diablerized since your last turn. That's going to be a hell of a deterrent for anybody considering casual Diablerie just to get around the Undying Thirst. Of course, you're still going to have to oust your prey once everybody's locked down. Nurgle does have +2 bleed, and since the Sin doubles up as a bleed modifier, you can bleed for 5 per action. If you're not too worried about Archon Investigation, you can take them out that way. Of course, another great card to lay down early on is Contagion. It does a pull damage to every other Methuselah during their untap phase, as long as Nurgle stays ready. In addition to Intercept, Nurgle can also lay down quite a lot of stealth and block denial. He's got access to Elder Impersonation and Psychomakia, plus a few others if you want to wrangle the disciplines. Of course, this deck only has one principal blocker, so you're going to suffer from block denial. You might want to throw in some extra vampires like Azanil or Petaniqua, who share some of the disciplines, can also be used for multiple untaps and to generate some intercept. We've put together this deck, which is a slight reworking of the Welsh Qualifiers finalist. It's a little bit more stable, takes into account some of the newer cards from the more recent expansions.